Welcome back to the John Trading channel. I'm John, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some altcoins as I'm going to do a price analysis on so many coins. You can see here right now, the Bitcoin is actually retesting this resistance level of the all-time high in 2023. And as I've been saying, potentially looking for a small retracement to the downside before we continue off this 20 EMA again to the upside. Plus, Ethereum was in this basic trading range to the sideways direction, and we're still basically acting in this buy low, sell high, and scalp region. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell notification, plus leave a comment if you want me to go over any specific crypto. Let's just take literally 30 seconds to look at Bitcoin on the weekly time frame as I start my trading day every single day looking at the weekly chart for whatever asset I'm trading. We do have the positive slope of the EMA coming back to actually use every time we retest this average price, using it as a springboard to the upside. So I know in the long term, in this direction, we have that positive sloping EMA, and I only want to be looking for longs to the upside. But in the short term, we're on the daily chart right now, and this was the all-time high for 2023. Back on April 14th, we made an all-time high of just over $31,000. You can see we actually pushed above this high, but we are seeing a little bit of resistance in this area. I was saying all on these days through here that I am expecting at least just a tiny retracement to the downside, even potentially waiting for the average price to actually catch up to the real price right here, and then we'll again use it as a springboard to the upside like we just saw on the weekly time frame. A lot of people using the trendline trading strategy would have put their line actually touching along all these highs through here, and once we got a positive break to the upside, that would have actually been their entry into their position. So a lot of people potentially up around 10% on their account. They potentially would have been risking either a fixed percentage like I like to use, 3%, or potentially going down to this low, which is about 9%. So they're already at least a 1-to-1 on their particular strategy, and that's why a lot of people would potentially be taking at least a little amount of profits. Even up here, they're close to a 1.5-to-1. So a lot of people would be exiting because they're using a 50-50 strategy, but their risk to reward is about 1.5-to-1, sometimes 2-to-1. And when you actually calculate that out using the trader's equation, you'll find that you have a positive trader's expectancy, meaning that every single time you take that particular trade, then you will be in front if you continuously take it day in and day out. Now moving over to Ethereum on the 4-hourly time frame, we are seeing a little bit of a different pattern all through this area. We're basically in this trading range, even showed by this EMA moving in this slightly up, slightly down direction. It wasn't trending like it was back in this area. It's moving slightly up, slightly down, slightly up, and now slightly down again, which means that a lot of people actually buying low, selling high, and they're scalping. That's how you want to trade a trading range price action. You want to be selling high, buying low, and not holding for very long. Because we're only moving sideways, it's less likely that we're going to then just smash out of this trend either to the upside or to the downside. It's more likely that we're just going to continuously bounce. So you can just make your money basically buying low, looking to sell high. You make 3% in basically 8 hours, and then you're out of your position. Then you're looking for another 3% from bottom to top, and then you're already out of your position in less than a day. And then you're just continuously scalping between these time frames. And if you think about it, if you basically took every scalp after this one, because that would have been the one that actually sets you up, let's even say that once we saw this and then we saw that, then we can say we're in that trading range price action. So the first trade would have been down here, buying low. So the first trade, you sell to the top, you're making 3%. The second trade, you'd be selling up here, looking to push down another 3%. A lot of people even entering right here, not even catching near this low, but entering right here, make another 2.5%. And potentially selling up in this area as much as we didn't reach the top end of this trading range. A lot of people are just making 3%, 3%, 3%. And in basically 3 or 4 days, people have made 12%, 9% on their account. So absolutely fantastic trading strategy. You just need to know what to look for, potentially using this support. Once we got this breakdown, potentially using as a resistance level, we definitely pushed a lot higher, which still means we're sort of in this trading range, but definitely getting a rejection up here and continuing down. So really we'd want to be seeing a lot of buying actually coming through, even if it's just below this area, but we want to see it to come through in this area here, because then that would confirm that we're still in that trading range price action. Quickly, even looking at Binance Coin, we're still just continuing to the downside. This was a trade that I took a couple of days ago. Since we have this downward slope in the EMA, selling right as we retest the average price and looking for a 2-to-1. I actually got a 3-to-1, risking 3%, gain 9% on this particular trade. But if we even move down to a smaller time frame, can we see, are we in a trading range price action? What type of trading range price action or general price action are we in? We sort of are in that slightly up, slightly down price action. And that's why I was really happy to get out of my trade, because I didn't think we could all smash through the lows. I did think we could quickly sweep through the lows, which means we might come down in this area, but then quickly come back up. I don't think that we're just going to smash through and completely collapse to the downside unless something massive happens for Binance Coin. Maybe some crazy news comes out. But if the overall crypto market is trending to the upside, I do believe Binance Coin should definitely have no problem again trending to the upside. Even having a quick look at Dogecoin, quite similar to Binance Coin, where we're just having this negatively sloping EMA. The one thing that again you need to look out for is we've broken above the EMA for the first time in a long time. All through this area, we were always below the EMA. We never closed above it. Now that we have closed above, it doesn't mean that we don't have at least a little bit more downside. But since we've broken above, potential this drop in here would then signal that that could be the end of the downtrend. Now, even pushing over to Litecoin, generally looking at the Litecoin is actually very different to a lot of coins. You can see that we're basically in this trading range price action where people are selling high and buying low, but it's actually slightly tilted somewhere like this, where you can see we are in a trading range, but it's just slightly tilted to the downside. So all through this area, a lot of people are trying to buy low in the bottom end of this sideways trading range, and a lot of people are selling high, but very different to what we're seeing on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Litecoin is really being its own beast right now, and you can and really need to trade it itself. You can even see, if you scroll into the last few days, we did have a triangle right here. The reason being is we had an inside bar, so we had this bar through here, and then right in here we had an inside bar, which basically means converging prices. You can see price came to the apex and now decided which way it's going to break out. A lot of these times when we get an apex breakout, since we had this long big uptrend, it's actually high probability to continue to the upside, but it's only around 55%, sometimes 60% on the specific pattern. So again, no guarantee that we are going to break to the upside, showing that a 50-50 pattern definitely has a high percentage to again continue to the downside. And really, if you think about it, it's a flipping a coin type of strategy. The thing is you need to set yourself up with a positive risk reward, meaning that if you go for a 2-to-1 on a 50-50 strategy and you take that trade every single time, you'll be a long-term winner, because as much as you do lose 50% of the time, you only lose one unit. Whereas when you're winning 2 units, and in the long run, losing 1 and winning 2, and that happening consistently over and over again, if you were able to take 100 trades, you would then win, let's say 40 units extra. And that's really the goal of trading, isn't to win every single trade. It's to understand your trade expectancy and actually understand how to execute it. Very similar here. So this is ETC, which is Ethereum Classic, basically trending below this 20 EMA for a long time. Having this first crack above, again, doesn't mean that we won't have a little bit more downside to come, but it does mean that this has been the first crack in many months. So we should again look to at least understand what's happening there. And that would mean, back on ETC, it would mean since we've broken above, there's a little bit higher probability that the trend is potentially changing. Nothing is guaranteed though. Even looking at Solana coin right now, generally very similar to Binance Coin. A lot of coins are either trending exactly like Bitcoin and Ethereum, or they're following that Binance Coin type of pattern. We've all through this area had that downwards trending EMA, and also we've come back to the average price and we're definitely rejecting off of it. You can even see these last few days, a lot of attempts to actually break above 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then just starts dropping to the downside. So also always a decent strategy to look for shorts once we have this downwards trending strategy. Obviously not financial advice, just my own strategy that I really enjoy to share with you guys. Again, very similar for AVAX coin. Most of these coins are exactly the same. First time spiking above this 20 EMA. So just signaling again that potentially this long-term short trend could be over, but it's going to take a little bit of time to develop. It's not just going to happen all of a sudden. Now having a look at XRP. So very similar, even in this trading range price action, a lot of times people are buying low in these type of areas and selling high, and potentially looks like we're coming down to actually retest the bottom end of this trading range. There's nothing else really I can take from it, because you can see we have slightly down, slightly up, and again beginning to be slightly down. We have that sideways trend trading range action, and you can even see it in the price. Every time we're coming high, people are selling. Every time we're coming low, people are buying. Coming high, selling, and they're scalping. They're not actually expecting this trend to just break to the upside in this parabola type motion. They're just bouncing basically between price, but that is a very strong strategy, because as you saw on one of these past coins, if you just bounce between the trading ranges, you can quite easily pick up a really solid amount of percentage. And again, once you find that we're finally in that trading range, it definitely happens for a few more times to come. Even coming a look and looking at ADA coin, very similar. Cardano, nearly exactly the same to Binance coin, just having this long-term downwards trend and then coming back, retesting the average price. And that's why I just absolutely love this strategy. It's just so fantastic. Even if we just quickly compare it to Bitcoin, ADA, it's just like literally completely different. All in this area, we've been pushing to the upside. Whereas when we quickly switch back to ADA, all through this area, we've been pushing to the downside. So nearly an inverse correlation between all these coins. If you haven't already, leave a like on the video, make sure you're subscribed and you hit the bell notification, plus leave a comment if you want me to go over one specific crypto in these videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.